Over the past 75 years, more than 10,000 chemicals have entered our food supply, but the EU allows just 300 additives. At Thrive Market, we prioritize quality, banning over 1,000 ingredients found in conventional grocery stores. Our Healthy Swap scanner helps you find better versions of your pantry essentials without the junk, dyes, or fillers, and everything is delivered right to your doorstep. So shop at a grocery store that actually cares about your health at thrivemarket.com/get-started for 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift.
Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Oh, what the heck is going on here? Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Really? You're going to give me this issue? Right now, if you're watching live, if you're watching the live stream, you see C-SPAN up. I'm trying to put that up in the corner because we're waiting on the tax vote in the Senate. Now, granted, it's got to go back to the House tomorrow, but that's besides the point. So I just have it up there, so if they get to the vote, we can switch over to it relatively quickly. Because I could just turn on the audio just like...
Why do they get in this? Why should they get? Doesn't make a lot of sense in this tax bill. Doesn't make a lot of sense. That's one way to look at it.
Oh, I know why I'm getting that reverberation like that, because I got this on at the same time. Like, why am I getting a double voice? Why am I getting it like that? So let's check it now.
Or other priorities
there we
like
go.
Infrastructure. I mentioned just one idea on rural broadband. I think rural America should get some help being connected to the internet. That's one way that we could.
Right now, they get, I forget how long to make comments, and the Democrats are up there, same crap over and over and over and over again. It's a tax relief for the rich. It's on the backs of the middle class. Look at us. We care about the middle class. We said middle class. Bad enough, Washington Post recently called the Democrats out and told them even to stop lying. Straight out told them to stop lying. I was like, oh, shit. Washington Post called them out. That's pretty bad. So we'll get on to that a little bit more later, and we'll keep an eye out on that broadcast. So there's a new report in oh great, I can't get to it. Grr. I know I have it somewhere else. There we go. I knew I had another article. The Wall Street Journal had an article up, and I knew I saw it before, and I had it saved from another site. Yeah. But I couldn't get into it on the Wall Street Journal. Oh, and don't forget, the Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I totally botched the beginning, I just kind of forgot what I was doing and went off on a little tangent. If you want to watch a live broadcast, that's easy. Just go to shrmedia.com. The two other ways you can watch the show, well, you can go to YouTube or Facebook, and either way, just search for SHR Media, and it'll pop right up. don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button, too. You want to keep up to date, not just with my show, but everybody else's. We got a lineup that is just to die for. And I got to say it every time, because I suck at selling. And what I mean by that, I'm not trying to sell you anything to make you buy, just upselling our great shows. We have great shows. I think they speak for themselves. I don't need to come up here and ramble on and blow smoke up everybody's ass, because they are great shows. They stand by themselves. So, a federal agency committed militaristic operations against Nevada rancher. An investigation into the Bureau of Land Management. And just to fade back in time, what we're going to do is we're going back to when Obama sent that police force, federal police force, what are they called? Not FBI. No, CIA is international. Not state police. BLM, Bureau of Land Management. Everybody's heard of the Bureau of Land Management. I mean, back in the day, they hunted down no, they didn't hunt anybody down. What did they do? They got militarized, and they went after a cattle rancher and took his cattle from him. Well, an investigation into the BLM handling of the 2014 Nevada standoff with the rancher Clyde Bundy revealed incredible bias, widespread misconduct, and likely illegal actions by BLM. Now, if you've paid attention in the news, his sons have been found innocent. They were found innocent in I can't remember the other incident where they protested at a federal site, which was, broadcasted, right-wing armed militia has taken over the federal whatever it was. They are armed and holding hostages. They weren't holding hostages. Yes, they were armed because they are law-abiding citizens that carry out there. They were protesting, and the media lambasted them. Well, his son...
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was dealing with piles of paperwork and frustrating forms, and then waiting and wondering and worrying if you were ever going to get any money back. Now Taxes is easily uploading your forms to a TurboTax expert who's matched to your unique tax situation. An expert who's backed by the latest technology, which cross-checks millions of data points for 100% accuracy. While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates on their progress. And you get the most money back guaranteed, all while you go about your day. No stressing, no worrying, no waiting. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Have been found not guilty. The father, I believe, is still on trial over this cattle. Obama got embarrassed all to hell on this. This made Obama look petty. And then a simple farmer bested him. The federal government had to back out. But prosecution shared the report with the Bundy's defense attorney, prompting a petition to judge for a mistrial or for the case to be outright dismissed, the Oregonian reports. The judge's judgment is expected to come down on Wednesday. It's time for our men to go home and start make a living for their families, Carol Bundy, Clyde Bundy's wife, told the news. We're 2 years behind. We've got a lot of catching up to do. The investigative report made by BLM Special Agent Larry Wooten and addressed to the Department of Justice was publicized last week after Washington State Rep. Matt Shea posted it on his Facebook page, according to the Wall Street Journal. Wooten's 18-page report discussed some of what he witnessed during his 3-year investigation, such as BLM agents' kill list, featuring people who had committed suicide while under investigation by the agency, BLM agents and officials referring to the Bundys as retards and douchebags, agents bragging about grinding a Bundy family member's face into gravel, and lead prosecutor in Nevada's acting U.S. Attorney Steve Meyer preferred ignorance of investigation details that would benefit the Bundy's defense case. Former Special Agent Dan Love, who was in charge of impounding Cliven's Bundy's cattle in 2014, conducted the most intrusive, oppressive, large-scale, and militaristic trespass cattle impound possible against Bundy's ranch against the direction of the U.S. Attorney Office, according to Wooten. The Bundy's defense strategy accuses the BLM of using overly aggressive and threatening tactics. The judge has ruled that the BLM's prosecution team has committed numerous Brady Act violations, failing to turn over exculpatory evidence that may exonerate the Bundys. Now, this is the judge saying that. In light of the violations and Wooten's memos, the judge sent the jury home last week as she considers ruling a mistrial or dismissing the case. Wooten was removed from his position in the investigation in February by, Meyer, and his notes and case material were taken. Assistant Special Agent Kent Kleiman carried out Meyer's order to gather Wooten's data in what Wooten called a raid on his office. I'm glad to see what looks to be maybe a little justice coming for the Bundys, especially with the overreach of the government that happened. That does not, I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name that got killed in the one incident. Dang it. Hang on. Let's see if I can. Lavoy Finnegan. Now, last I heard, there was internal investigations into this matter. I haven't heard anything of late. In fact, let me just do a quick search. See if there's any updates of late on the investigation. All right, the last one I'm seeing is in June 28th of this year. An indictment has been reached on an FBI agent but he's being accused of lying to hide that he fired 2 shots at Lavoy and missed. Five counts. Sorry about this. This was, again, on my last minute. Five counts of making a false statement and 2 counts of obstruction of justice. Now, if I remember right, Bundy's were found not guilty. One thought leads to another. All jury finds all Oregon standoff defendants not guilty of federal conspiracy or gun charges. That was in October 27th. That didn't hit big news, did it? Why? Because it would show the overreach of the liberal media. There's been a major overreach, as we all knew was going to come. Now, I don't agree with him running like he did, but they tried silencing people that day. Ugh. Also, coming up after my show at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you want to stick around for BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by, of course, BZ. He's got a special guest, and oh no, that's Thursday's show. Never mind, it's Thursday's show. It is. Well, you still want to, stick around for tonight's show, but Thursdays he's got a very special guest that I'm actually going to stick around for. He is a Bigfoot hunter. And I love that type of stuff. I actually sit around with my daughter sometimes and we watch like hunting Bigfoot and all that. Doesn't mean that I believe 100% that Bigfoot is there. But there very well could be a creature that we have not come across. I mean, there's stuff in the ocean we're still finding. Up until the 1950s, somewhere 50s, 60s, silverback gorillas were nothing more than a myth. There was a fish that they were catching in the the Nile River, I think it is. I think it's the Nile. And everybody, the scientists, oh no, that fish has been extinct for several million years. It's an impossibility. Oh shit, it's alive. Oh my God, they're catching it with there's a large population. We don't know what is exactly out there. So I do keep my mind a little open. The hell? A Democrat wins House seat in recount by a single vote. Sweet Republican. That one statement was definitely true. Politics is a lot more partisan today than it was just a decade ago or two. We are split big time. So you were reading this story that I just came across. It's weird. Sounds like they had some really close battles going on just recently. Oh, boy. Where are we at? We still got... Oh, we got Pocahontas up speaking. Let's hear what this... Let me guess. Tax breaks for the rich. Taxing and destroying the middle class. Tax breaks for Donald Trump for him to make money.
And billionaires who fund Republican campaigns across this country. Today is their day. Every fundraiser, every fat check from a billionaire, and every champagne and caviar party has been about getting to this day. The day when the politicians that they put in charge
the
of
same
Washington
thing from every
would
goddamn
pay them
Democrat.
back with a $1.5 trillion giveaway. Now, supporters of this bill call it tax reform.
Okay, even if there is a increase on the debt, even if there is, the Democrats have a room to bitch. They didn't say a fucking word as Obama dumped trillions upon trillions of debt on us in 8 years. And she was silent. Now they want to worry about debt? Please. That's what tells me that it's a joke that there is no debt with this. They're just trying to scare conservatives away from it. And any conservative runs away because they hear a bunch of Democrats using keywords. That tells me you're very weak-minded. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
you got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean Dude, I'm not saying capitalist, stupid, bro. Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening. Contact is the evening. Now back to Reaver of Common Sense with Jersey Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. I figured something out during the break. I know why that their Democrats are out there just spewing that it's a tax break for the rich. I get it now. I understand it. Every time they say that, a socialist gets a free college scholarship. It's oh my God. It really is sad because that's all they have. That's all they have. And it's not even anything original. Oh, Dick Durbin's up there. Same shit. Tax break for the rich.
That is designed for them, for the wealthiest people in America. And so they're probably at this point trying to figure out how to live stream C-SPAN onto their yachts so they can see if this tax bill is going to pass. Why would they do that? Why?
See? Same shit. All the senators are saying the same crap over and over and over and over and over and over. Same shit, different day. Really, guys, get a new line. Get something new. And the best line I had today was, "Oh, you need to read the bill there, Mister." I have looked at the bill. I have read it, and it's absolutely, unequivocally amazing that it's the same crap. Here's something new. What the hell? Oh, God. It said, there was a meme and had a picture of a girl, and I didn't see the full thing. It says, "I went from A's to D's, and so did my grades." It's just, oh my God. Doctor to her patient, "You remind me of my cell phone." The woman, "Why?" "Because you're about to die." It's fucked up. Mem put up right before Hurricane Irma. You know, it was from a store. "We are officially out of water in Florida." The person put above it, "Don't worry, y'all got more coming, trust me." That's funny. That's funny. I'm sorry about that. "Mom, am I ugly?" "I told you not to call me Mom in front of the people." That's pretty bad. That is bad. I'm sorry. There's some memes. Hoes be tripping. I'm looking at like 27 memes only terrible people laugh, and I think I've laughed at every single one. That one's a little corny. All right, let's see. Tomorrow, 12 a.m. Finally going to get my one laptop updated. I'll get that one. All right, I got to stop looking at these. Oh, my God. So, it's a black mother with the baby in the stroller, and it says, "Love this N-word. He survived 2 abortion attempts. Laugh out loud. Stuck with him now." Oh, my God. That one, no, I'm not laughing at that one. I don't know. It's one of those ant motels. Someone put a sign above it with like XXX. Sexy ant dancers with arrows pointing towards. That's funny. That's funny. Let's see. Durbin's still talking. And talking about tax for the rich.
The tax code of the United States of America. It was a slapdash, hurried effort that sadly does not reflect the best of this institution or the best of the members who are part of it. Why would they do this? Because if this bill were subject to proper scrutiny, as it should have been, you only really reform the tax code once every several decades, a monumental giveaway to corporate America.
Oh, so you want to talk about shit being slapped together quickly without input. Obamacare, dumbass. Oh, what a fucking douchebag. Ooh, that blood you donated could be in someone's boner right now. Think about that one. That one's a thinker. I got to get on with the show. I'm totally wasting time tonight. I'm being a total butthead. I'm watching this, and same crap, different day from Democrats. Same crap on the internet. Trolls are out in droves. Oh, my. You could tell when Democrats are in trouble. The trolls are out there. And now, have you noticed they now accuse everybody on the Republican side, conservatives, of being a troll? Everybody's a troll or a Russian bot. But now, the Senate Intel Committee is reportedly looking into whether 2016 Green Party candidate Jill Stein colluded with Russian government. Republican North Carolina Senator Rich Burr said the committee was opening up investigation into 2 other campaigns, in addition to the current one, about any alleged ties between President Donald Trump and the Russian government. Stein added that 2015 dinner in Moscow was photographed sitting at the same table as Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, was also at the same table, seated next to Putin. Politico reported in September that Stein also benefited from Facebook political advertisement purchased by Russian accounts. Stein responded to the expanded investigation with the following statement defending her participation at the dinner. Our communication with Russian individuals regarding an invitation to speak on international relationship at the RT 10th anniversary media conference will confirm what we stated publicly at that time and since, that we did not accept any payment or even reimbursement for the trip. The 2016 election was a relatively success for Stein. Although she finished 4th, she received 1,457,216 votes. The greatest showing by Green Party candidate. Oh my God. Getting I'll be nice, 1.5 million votes. That was a success. For a national candidate, that's funny. You see Dick Durbin still flapping his gums. See, this is the shit that pisses people off about politics. They got 10 hours of commentary. The bill is going to pass. All the Democrats are saying the same crap over and 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 over again. It's the same crap they say every time Republicans talk about tax breaks for the middle class. If the Democrats cared so much for the middle class, they cared so much for the little guy, why did they give the big middle finger to the middle class for the last 8 years during Obama's reign of terror? And if you look at their new motto, they basically admit that they did shit for the economy. They did shit for the middle class. But they want me to believe that they're changed. They care about us. No, what they care about is this tax plan gets passed. Yeah, they know they're in deep shit. They know they will be in trouble as a party. They know it will be great news for Republicans. And that's why they're fighting so hard. If they had an ounce of intelligence, they would have worked together and tried to have come to a compromise with the Republicans. And the Republicans probably would have compromised with them if they actually worked with them. And they would have gave some stuff to the Democrats. And then they could have went to the people and said, look, we worked with them. We're working together to try to make the country. We're not doing party politics. No, but they sit there and go, country above party. Duh. But did they do anything to try to help out on tax reform? No. Have they tried to do anything to fix Obamacare? No. Have they done anything to try to help the middle class? No. They've done nothing. The only thing they've done for the past year is Trump's bad. Trump's bad. 2016 election wasn't fair. Trump's bad. 2016 election. 2016 election. 2016 election. Trump bad. That's all we've heard. Well, and the sexist, the racist, Russia. They have done nothing to try to help the everyday man and woman. So I don't get called a sexist. They could have stepped up and said, we know Obamacare, there's a lot of mistakes with it. They could have said, let's work together. We're not going to agree to get rid of it, but we're going to work to make it better. Nope, they didn't even do that. Even when they were in charge, they didn't even say, you know what, let's try to fix this. We got some bills. And they admitted that it was going to take a long time to get it right. Did they put a bill forth to try to make it right? Nope. They sat there and bitched about the Republicans. They complained about Republicans being obstructionists. What the fuck have the Democrats done since they passed Obamacare? A bunch of scandals, that's about it. Everybody I talk to is tired of the Democrat Party. My dad, for 70-some years, never one really got involved in politics and was always neutral. He didn't go one side or the other. It's the shit of 8 years of Obamacare. 8 years of Obama. And what that man in the Democrat Party did, that pushed us away. Hell, my dad even talked us into voting for Bill Nelson because he was the better candidate of the two. Hell, oh, I regret doing that. Oh, do I regret that vote. Right now, there is zero chance I would vote for a Democrat because I don't believe a single one of them. They're out there running their mouths because they know they're politically in trouble. They know they are politically going down the drain. So I will not back a single Democrat at this time because not a single one will I believe. I only hear sexist, racist, xenophobe, Russia. Rinse, repeat. Nothing of substance, nothing real, and they only do party politics. I told you before, and I'll keep pointing it out. When you see them complaining of something, that is exactly what they are doing. And to give an example, when they scream and cry, country above party. Why? Because they're doing party above all else. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. And we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Pay no attention to the muffled screams in the background. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on the SHR Media Network. Back to you, Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? They're still yapping away.
We also see a Department of Education that has removed 300
Senator David Perdue from the Republicans, Georgia.
CEO confidence is at a 20-year high, Mr. President. Consumer confidence, despite what the other side wants to tell us, is at a 16-year high, and many studies are proving that today. But I want to tonight clear up some of the absolute unbelievable mistruths and myths about this bill being perpetrated. We heard several just in the last hour here on this floor, Mr. President. The first, the great one, I love this. This tax plan is only going to help the wealthy. We're going to tax the low-income people in America, and we're going to give it to the billionaires. Mr. President, let me just give you some examples here. A median income family today.
And let's get this straight. That would make the Democrats happy. Because out of the top 10 richest, 8 of them are Democrats. So the richest in the overall is the Democrat Party. So don't let them confuse you with that. They're the richest. They want those tax breaks.
Has to find her way to work, gets very little help from family or friends, does it on her own. I know many people like this. That person is going to get a 75% tax cut in this bill, Mr. President. Beyond that, today, 52% of households in America, this is before this bill, 52% of households.
It's the same stuff that the Republicans are saying. They're going over the bill, going over the bill, going over the bill. That's why I think this is a lot of waste of money, time. So a Twitter executive said Tuesday that it is no longer possible to stand up for all speech. Just 5 years after a different executive described the company as the free speech wing of the Free Speech Party. Speaking before British politician Sinead McSweeney, Twitter's European Vice President for Public Policy and Communication, purposefully acknowledged and addressed the change in tune. I look back over the last 5.5 years, and the answer I would have given to some of these questions 5 years ago were very different, McSweeney said, according to Business Insider. Twitter was in a place where it believed the most effective antidote to bad speech was good speech. It was very much a John Stuart Mill style philosophy. We realize the world we live in has changed. Tony Wang, then general manager of Twitter's operations in UK, expressed quite a different attitude in 2012 while explaining the company. Generally, we remain neutral as to the content because our general counsel and CEO like to say that we are a free speech wing of the Free Speech Party, he said. While McSweeney didn't join Twitter until after Wang provided his commentary, it shows a fairly stark shift in attitude and, in fact, follows a shift in policy. Twitter announced Monday that it is going to get even more strict with quote-unquote hateful conduct and abusive behavior on the platform by restructuring its policies to encompass more content. Specific threats of violence or wishing for serious physical harm, death, or disease to an individual or group of people, for example, is and has been a violation of Twitter policy, but new changes include more types of related content like content that glorifies violence or perpetrators of a violent act. Additionally, accounts that are in Twitter's eye affiliated with organizations that use or promote violence are included in the crackdown. Now, of course, Twitter put exceptions for military and government entity, as well as groups that are currently engaging in or have engaged in peaceful resolution, a stipulation that many consider an indirect pass for President Donald Trump. Okay, well, that promotes violence. So they're going to ban UFC? That's violence. They promote violence. Boxing? Football? Cockfighting? Bullfighting? steak eating, chicken eating, veganism. And yes, veganism is violent, as it kills those innocent plants. I hear them scream in my dream as the knife cuts into them and they get sliced and diced. The poor vegetables. They were just sitting there, soaking up the sun, till one day this evil human reached over and yanked them out of the dirt and began to chew on them violently. The screams haunt me. Twitter is in a self-destructive mode. I have a Twitter account, but tell you the truth, I use it less and less and less and less. All it is a pretty much, not 100%, it's just a bunch of hateful trolls. I mean, Facebook is getting the same way. I don't mind conversation. But as soon as you say something, they jump all over you. And they have allowed these bots to happen. I'm not saying that all liberalism is bots. I'm not saying that the conservatives don't use bots. But there's too many of them out there on both sides. And it just, I mean, they both perpetuated each other to do it. And it just gets worse and worse. So all Twitter is just a hate fest. And it's gotten to the point where all people do is make threats against each other, say nasty things, and go on their merry way. That's all. I enjoy arguing. I do. But it gets tiresome after a while. It really does. Especially when you're going, I love the idiots that tell me, well, I'm not going to back down. You're going to have to block me. I'm going to keep going at you until you block me because I never give up. You know how many times I've been blocked? Because I become childish at that point. I revert to being a 5-year-old. I had one person who was on a game. They pissed me off, so it was on the forums. They made some comments, so I marked it off as, you can mark it off as a troll, or useless comments. So he private messages me, and he keeps going at me. So I started spamming the shit out of him with private messages. And I mean spamming the shit. I'd hit like Y, enter, O, enter, U, enter. I'd spell out these words in just one letter at a time and just went at it like that for an hour. Got to the point he's sitting there crying he's going to go to one of the GMs and get me banned. I'm like, go ahead. You contacted me and kept harassing me. So I come back and attack you, and now you're crying like a little bitch. And that's exactly what happens on Twitter, and it's all of social media anymore. I try to treat people with respect. I really do. I don't say or do anything that I wouldn't do in person. But too many of these people hide behind that computer screen. And they think because they're behind that computer screen, they're safe. They're in their little safe space so they can do or say whatever the fuck they want with no reprisals. Well, guess what? Life doesn't work that way. But Twitter is taking it. And they're only going after conservatives. And I've watched it. I've watched them attack conservatives. I've had threats against me by liberals, with nothing being done to them by Twitter when they're turned in. And Twitter sat there and allows it. I've watched it go on. I've watched as they've instigated other people to jump into the conversation. And nothing is done. A conservative does it and they're kicked off of Twitter. It's pretty bad. It really is. I don't know. All right, we're going to take a Money Talks minute and head to break. But you're listening to a Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk with Melanie, Money Talk Minute. This week we're going to discuss savings mistakes to avoid. Here are just 3. First mistake, keeping your savings and checking accounts at the same bank. What do I mean by this? If you keep your savings account in the same place as your checking account, you're going to be way more tempted to transfer your savings money into your checking account and spend money that you meant to save. So you want to avoid that. It keeps you honest. Second thing, being seduced by introductory rates. Banks do this all the time. And anytime it comes to any special offers, quite frankly, it is usually some kind of trick. So be careful of that. Many banks will offer these awesome introductory savings rates to get you in the door, and then it only applies up to a certain amount of time, and then that rate goes down real low and you're really not benefiting. Finally, keeping all your savings in one place. Divide your savings up into different accounts for specific purposes. Have a separate one for emergency funds, or have a separate one to save for a car, something like that. The reason you want to do that is that if all your money is in one single savings account, it's very easy to accidentally spend something that was appropriated for one thing on something else. So that's this week's Money Talk Minute. I'm your business diva, Melanie Collette. Please be sure to watch Money Talk with Melanie Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Pay no attention to the muffled screams in the background. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on the SHR Media Network. Back to you, Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. Damn it. I love this program, but there's one little flaw in it. When you mess with like one screen, and if you don't hit escape, but you hit the button for it to go live, it blows that last screen to full size. So it really screws up your live picture. Because if you're watching the live stream, you'll see it's a full size C-SPAN when it should only be boop, that big in the upper corner. Maybe that's what I should do. I wonder how I could do that. Put me all the way over in the corner. Nope. I ain't gonna keep messing around. Yeah, I'll put myself there. I'll put myself. No, not that one. Whoop. Come on. Come on. Hate when I do shit like this. Start messing around in the middle of a broadcast. All right, let's pop in and see what this Democrat's saying.
The only provisions that remain intact throughout the entire history of the income tax is to say we're not going to tax on tax. We're not going to impose taxes on state and local taxes. And that, of course, was one of the reasons why a constitutional amendment was changed to allow income taxes. And now we're breaking that commitment on federalism. We're really breaking the constitutional spirit to tell our state and local governments that we're going to impose taxes on taxes and make it more difficult for you to raise the revenue you need in order to finance state and local services. So Maryland,
Yeah.
45% of Marylanders
Sorry about this.
use the state and local tax deduction.
I have no idea what just happened there. My board just went totally apeshit. Holy for holies.
Income tax returns. And the average amount, this is the average amount in Maryland on deductions for state and local taxes is $12,900. That's the average. So the average taxpayer in Maryland is going to pay more taxes as a result of the $10,000 limit that's imposed in this.
I'm sorry, it's not my fault, and it's not. Why should I have to pay a higher? God damn it! Damn it! Come on! Oh, I touched my board and I shouldn't have. There we go. I do not have to subsidize other people's taxes just because you live in an irresponsible state that has higher taxes. That is not my fault. That is your fault for electing faulty officials. So when California, New York, New Jersey want to complain, and I guess Maryland wants to complain about high taxes and they can't write it off on their federal tax, too fucking bad. That's all I have to say. Too fucking bad. Elected officials that are more fiscal responsible, and then you won't have that problem. Or get the hell out of that state. Because that's what a lot of people are opting to do out in New York. And that's what shit, this goes through. We're out of New York. We're moving the fuck out of New York. So don't sit there and expect me to subsidize you for being irresponsible. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders shredded Democrat California Rep Ted Lieu on Tuesday after he used a false tweet from The Hill to accuse Sanders of lying. The Hill's tweet misrepresented a Sanders quote from her appearance Tuesday morning on Fox and Friends. Democrats shouldn't need to be begged to be part of cutting taxes for the American people, Sanders stated. They should have been begging and banging down the door of the building behind me to be part of this process and to be part of helping more Americans be more successful. What's up, BZ? The Hill twisted Sanders' word, reading Huckabee Sanders, GOP begged Democrats to work on tax reform. Only after clicking into the story did readers find out that the Hill's tweet wasn't accurate. Lieu quoted the inaccurate tweet to attack Sanders, writing, "Dear Press Secretary, you don't serve in Congress, I do, and I can say with absolute certainty that you are lying." Lieu's tweet went viral and was retweeted 15,000 times. Well, Press Secretary Sanders responded, "Dear at Ted Lieu, I don't serve in Congress, but I can read. If you had read the story, not an incorrect tweet, you would see what I said was Dems should be begging to help Americans keep more of their money. You should spend less time tweeting and more time doing your job." Lieu blamed the Hill for his errant tweet, which he later deleted. Of course, it's everybody else's fault because he did not read everything properly. He went to the headlines and did headline scammings on how can I attack a Republican today. Oh, look at this headline. Dumbass. Oh, man. BZ, I know you're there in the chat. I don't know if you're listening yet, brother. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to have to stay on and listen Thursday night show because of your special guest. I want to hear what he has to say because as I was talking earlier, since you're here, I don't know if you heard, but I'll repeat it anyway. I've always had an interest in Bigfoot. I think something does exist. I don't know what. I think it's very easy that something could exist without us knowing there's been other creatures around for God knows how long, and that we didn't know until, well, we found them. Silverback gorillas were supposed to be a myth. There was a fish, Nile, or was it the Amazon, whatever, that was supposed to be extinct millions of years ago. There's animals that are around that we don't know. And as for also, he does the UFO hunting and all that, I think to say that we are the only intelligent life form in all the world, or all the universes, that whole big sky we look up at, is very arrogant for us to think that. Now, to say that they're visiting us, I don't know. But to say we're the only life forms is very arrogant of us. I just find it funny that you're putting it up there that you're going to be talking about the paranormal and all that. Because my daughter, I forget which show it's on the Travel Channel. And every, Friday or Saturday night, she is at the TV and she is watching that paranormal show. And for the longest time, if you asked her, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm going to be a paranormal investigator. No, Jordan, you can't make money doing that. That's not a real career. I stay away from it because my show's political. But, yeah, when I talked about my religious ideology, I never say I'm a Christian because my ideology is mixed between a lot of different religions. And being part American Indian, I looked into tribal English. So I did look into Judaism and ended up looking into Wicca. I was studying Wicca. I looked at all of that. And that's how I started reading into Judaism, Muslim, Buddhism, Hinduism, and they all had common denominators with them, and that's where I get my idea. But I've had paranormal incidents. Day my dad was shot, I was on the way to the hospital. And my godmother, who had passed away about 2 years before, and I remember I'm leaning against the window. I was crying my eyes out. And all of a sudden I stopped crying. Because I heard her voice saying, your father's going to be okay. And all of a sudden I just calmed down. I have seen stuff. My dad's boss was killed, was murdered in the shop. I saw him walking through the shop one time. And I can go on and on and on about stuff like that. Yeah, it's... I know it's popular, but I kind of never thought to mix the two together, to tell you the truth. But yes, I've always had some interest in that stuff. Like I said, I believe it's arrogant. The silverback gorilla was a myth. It could not exist. We would have found it by now. Oh, shit, they're real. Damn, the scientists are wrong. See, that's why I hate when scientists... It can't be... There's nothing there. There's no goddamn Bigfoot. There's no such thing. That's all fake. It's scientifically impossible. We would have found it by now. There's a lot of creatures out there that we haven't found. There's new creatures that we're always finding. Nature... We don't understand half about nature. So... yeah, it's going to be an awesome show, and I'm going to try to stick around to watch it. It's not you, BZ. I usually am a little... You know how it is out there, show. You're a little tired, you're a little drained, and you just got to decompress for a little bit. So, and again, yesterday, I know you're prepping for your show, and I'm talking your ear off. Yesterday, when I brought up about that stuff about the underbrush and all that's in California that we were talking about. What I found funny is we were talking about it this past summer when the fires were going, and you were explaining that to me. And it's just funny that Rush, who is supposed to be on the cutting edge, he knows everything and anything, was just talking about that yesterday. No bourbon, no bourbon. I got some rum. I have some rum. I'll decompress with some rum. Either that, I'll go get some vodka and have a Bloody Mary. I don't know why I had a couple Thanksgiving week, and I've been in the mood for them lately. I just got to find the right Bloody Mary mix. That's the hard part. It's I can't drink straight vodka. I can't drink whiskey. I can't drink Jack Daniels anymore. I can't drink tequila anymore. Rum, I think, is the last. Rum and Jaeger are pretty much the last of what I can drink. I can drink the Bloody Marys, but if I drink straight rum, I get violent. Last time I drank tequila, I had a knife to my best friend's throat. Jack Daniels, I wind up trying to fight somebody. So I stay away from a lot of the whiskeys, the bourbons. Buddy of mine got me drinking scotch, but it's the high-end scotch, and I can't afford that. So rums are for me. That's I've acquired some rum that I have aging on top of my refrigerator. And it's smelling good. It tastes good. I'm just letting it age, getting it a nice, mellow taste for when it's ready. All right, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. And don't forget, coming up, top of the hour, approximately, 33 minutes will be BZ with Berserk Bobcat Saloon. I'm so used to doing it, BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, but I know it's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. But it's hard for me to remember saying it that way. God, that's trippy. Oh, man, that's like out there. But yeah, coming up top of the show, top of the hour, will be BZ with BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Like I said, Thursday's going to be a great show. I know tonight's going to be a great show. I'll tell you right now, I am jealous of BZ's show. I am. I look at his show, and then I look at mine and go, shit, mine's crap. Oh, I watched, oh, please tell me, don't blow up, don't. Okay. I was opening a can of soda, and it felt really, really rigid. I'm going, oh, shit. But yeah, between BZ and the Sackheads, I'm going, oh, shit. This show's crap compared to those guys. Ugh. One day when I grow up, I want to be just like BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. I know I said that all fucked up, BC, but I really mean it, bro. All right, Sarah Silverman, this witch, and I'm putting that very lightly, comedian and left-wing activist, claimed patriotism is perverted. And how many times have I said it? You know, the left is using those words now because they think we'll be dumb enough to jump behind them. But they do not approve of patriotism. They want to destroy patriotism. She has called Donald Trump childish and mocked what she called the Christian fringe in an interview to promote her new Hulu television series this week. In the first season of her 10-episode variety show, I Love You, America, Silverman said there are two kinds of patriotism. The right has perverted the meaning of being liberal or being feminist. Even social justice warrior is an insult. We pervert language so much, Silverman said in her interview with Vice. Patriotism has always been a bit owned by the right. The last disillusion of all of our parts is that there are two parties, and they're made up of two very different kinds of people. I have to think that oligarchy and billionaires, wealth addicts aside, for the most part, are more alike than we think. We're just getting our news from outlets that are telling us different types of stories. Patriotism is perverted, Silverman continued, adding that we're not on the same page as what it means. To me, being patriot is loving your country, being a citizen, having a voice, being e pluribus unum. How perverted is it to go from we are one to we are number one, which is such a childish idea. And that tells us exactly where she thinks. It is not that we are number one. We are one. And we care for Americans first. We take care of number one first and foremost. I'm pretty sure in her household, she makes sure that her and her family are taken care of before anybody else is taken care of. That is the same with countries. Equate your house to being a country. And each bedroom, each room is a different state. You take care of that house before anything else in your neighborhood, don't you? You take care of your bedroom, make sure it's clean, your state, before cleaning anybody else's bedroom, don't you? You don't leave your bedroom in disarray while cleaning everybody else's bedrooms. Well, you clean your state. You make sure your state's doing great before you start going to other states. You make sure your property and house are well taken care of before you start helping your neighbors, don't you? You make sure your bills are paid before you start helping your neighbors. You don't leave your doors open at night for any Tom, Dick, and Harry to walk in and do whatever the fuck they want. You lock your doors. You secure your doors. You secure the borders of your house so that everybody is safe. There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing racist about that. The left has to perverse and belittle these ideas because they want to destroy this country. They want to go to a global economy. They want to go to a global government. And the only way they could do that, just as they've done in Europe, you have to destroy nationalism. You got to make it so that the people don't care if their country is a country or not. The young people, a lot of them don't care if France is a country anymore because they've always been a part of the European Union. That's all they know. That's why if Hillary would have made president before the first 4 years was up, we would have been part of a North American Union, which would have been Mexico, United States, and Canada with open borders of us going anywhere we wanted to. United States would have been dead. Canada would have been dead. Mexico would have been dead. It would have been the North American Union. That is what they've been trying to push. And for that, you have to destroy nationalism. You don't want to take care of your own. They want to teach you that you have to worry about everybody else before you worry about yourself. You got to make sure everybody else is taken care of before you're taken care of. You got to go clean your neighbor's house before you clean your house. And hopefully people understood my analogy of using your house as a nation. Because I know the left, that made no sense at all. Yeah, exactly, BZ. BZ posted Pew Research discovered Sweden will be 1/3 Muslim by 2050 and say bye-bye to Swedish culture. Demography is prophecy. That's what they're doing, people. That's what some of this is about. Destroying your culture. I have no problem, and this is something my brother said, because his wife is from Colombia. She's here legally, yes. But he's like telling my mom, well, if you went and saw other countries, and you saw the shape that they're in, and how bad of living condition that they're being killed, aren't you compassionate to bring them here? My mom was telling this what my brother said, and my dad went, no. No. You have compassion, but compassion only goes so far. United States is not the babysitter of the world. We can't be inviting every Tom, Dick, and Harry that has a problem into our country. Sometimes these people need to get a set of balls, rise up, and set their own country straight. Why are they always running here? And then bashing this country. That's what really pisses me off. So many of these people run to this country, lie, cheat, steal to get in here. And then when they're here, all they do is bash this country. And, well, if your country was so great and we were such a shit country, why the fuck are you here? Why did you come in here illegally? Why did you fight tooth and nail to get here? If you don't like our freedoms, why did you come here? And I've heard it so many times. Well, in my country, we do it this way, and it's so much better. Then why are you here? If your country does it so much better, bye-bye. Now, if you love this country and you want to be a part of this country, that's why when you come here and to be a citizen, you have to give up your citizenship. You got to give up your loyalty to your originating country. And you have to swear allegiance to America. That's not a childish idea. Nationalism isn't a childish idea. This global ideology that these social justice warrior idiots love to push. And she talks about we pervert language so much on the right. Isn't it the ones on the right that have perverted the language more than anybody? That politically correct culture. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was just a way to silence people. That failed. Then she had to go into attacking the president. Because that's what she does. Calling him childish. Well, when you make comments like this, and your job is to depend on the public buying into your show, liking your show, making these comments is not smart. She does a show that says, I love you, America. What she's really saying is, fuck you, America. Come on, you damn. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk with Melanie, Money Talk Minute. This week we're going to discuss savings mistakes to avoid. Here are just 3. First mistake, keeping your savings in checking accounts at the same bank. What do I mean by this? If you keep your savings account in the same place as your checking account, you're going to be way more tempted to transfer your savings money into your checking account and spend money that you meant to save. So you want to avoid that. It keeps you honest. Second thing, being seduced by introductory rates. Banks do this all the time. And anytime it comes to any special offers, quite frankly, it is usually some kind of trick. So be careful of that. Many banks will offer these awesome introductory savings rates to get you in the door, and then it only applies up to a certain amount of time, and then that rate goes down real low and you're really not benefiting. Finally, keeping all your savings in one place. Divide your savings up into different accounts for specific purposes. Have a separate one for emergency funds, or have a separate one to save for a car, something like that. The reason you want to do that is that if all your money is in one single savings account, it's very easy to accidentally spend something that was appropriated for one thing on something else. So that's this week's Money Talk Minute. I'm your business diva, Melanie Collette. Please be sure to watch Money Talk with Melanie Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Pay no attention to the muffled screams in the background. You are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on the SHR Media Network. Back to you, Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Hey, don't forget, coming up top of the hour will be BZ with Berserk Bobcat Saloon. My God, brain farts tonight. Speech is free, but the drinks are watered down. Oh, boy. Watch out for the tequila. It will kill you. All right, bad joke. Oh, let's see, where are we? Last thing I heard on the tax bill. This is almost kind of funny. So the House passed it today, but there was 3 provisions that didn't pass the Senate parliamentary rules. So what's going to happen is that everything's still on track. The Senate is taking those 3 small provisions out. They're minor provisions. One allows tax advantage education savings accounts to be used, homeschooling expenses. Another touches on an exemption from new exercise tax on college endowment. So what will happen? The Senate will vote tonight without those provisions. Then it will go back to the House tomorrow to get voted on again, which shouldn't be a big issue. They're saying it will pass very easily. The 3 provisions aren't, major make or break. It just seems I don't understand how they had this goof up. It's kind of embarrassing. If I was them, I'd be embarrassed about it. But it is what it is. It is supposed to pass the Senate. From what I heard, they have the votes. Even Susan Collins is behind the bill. I think they even got Corker behind it. I think Bob Corker actually is now behind the bill. This is a man that has been fighting against Trump every step of the way. So, it looks good because that will only give 51 votes right there. Because Senator John McCain will not be there to vote. It is what it is. So it's kind of a do-over that has to be done, but it's not going to delay. Then once the House signs it, it can be shipped off to the president. I'd be finding out who read the bill, who wrote the bill, and didn't go through all the rules. That's got to be a little bit embarrassing. Shit, we pushed this through. There's that. There's the mouse. What else? Touched on that area. Oh. Schumer said GOP will rule the day they pass the tax bill. They will rule the day. What the fuck are we, in 1950s or something? They'll rule the day. During a press conference on Capitol Hill as the House representative passed the tax bill, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said the Republicans would rue the day they passed this bill. This tax bill will be another anchor around the ankles of every Republican. If they haven't learned it yet, they will learn it next November. Republicans will rule the day they pass this bill, and Americans will never let them forget it. That's right, because when they pass this, they're going to be kicking the shit out of Democrats in November's election. He added, what's been sold as a job creator and a wage booster will, of course, do little of either, as companies are already initiating stock buyback worth hundreds of millions of dollars instead of hiring more workers and raising wages. Ultimately, the Republicans have taken what they called a once-in-a-generation opportunity on tax reform and squandered it on corporate welfare and tax cuts for the rich. One day, I would love to when one of these Democrats is, parroting these goddamn talking lines and just walk up to them and pull out, those little travel size 2 crackers in a packet. Pull one of them out, open it up, and just hand it to them and walk away. And just leave them there dumbfounded. Polly, want a cracker? There you go. You're parroting that so good. It's the same shit. But at least he mixed it up with, they'll rule the day. Yeah. And then you have Pelosi, as my dad calls her. My dad calls her Pelosi. During a speech on the House floor on Tuesday, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi slammed the Republican tax plan as moral, obscene theft that does violence to the vision of our founders. Does violence to the vision of our founders. This woman, well, she might know about the founders. She's friggin' old enough. She was around. She probably gave a hand job to Thomas Jefferson. Oh, that was bad, wasn't it? That was bad. Ooh, I'm getting really choppy video. All right, time to cut the video out. And I mean the C-SPAN feed. We're going to be done with the show in a few minutes, and it doesn't seem they're doing anything. So, time to put that to bed. I know that was a bad joke, though, wasn't it, that she gave Thomas Jefferson a hand job. I sexually harassed Nancy Pelosi, I guess. Guess what? Fuck it. She can't take a joke. Fuck it. Pelosi said, today we gather on this floor so I could talk more shit and spew talking points that the Democrat Party has been spewing for the last 30 years. Squawk? Probably want a cracker? It does help a little, but I also change everything over while you're starting the show, BZ. While you're starting your show, I'm switching the titles and all that around so it matches up. They're still screwing up. I'm doing it when while you're doing the show. So I always stick around and make sure all that's switched over. Tomorrow night, on Wednesday nights, I do the same thing for the Sackheads. I make sure everything is all set up because it always mixes it up. My show's still processing by the time you guys start your show. So somehow, YouTube being dumb fucks that they are, it switches the names. I don't understand it. It seems very simple. It's just funny with those two, Nancy Pelosi and Schumer. It's the same crap over and over again. Same crap. It's not even like they're coming up with new excuses. You know, it's a tax plan for the rich. It's going to give rich. And you know, this policy is not giving the rich any tax breaks. In fact, I don't even think the rich are going to get a tax break in this. I understand they're talking also corporate. But you know what? That's going to create jobs. Anybody with an IQ over 3 and more than one brain cell. You know what? Even amoebas know that giving corporate tax breaks creates more jobs. With that, I'm going to head out of here for tonight. Up next is BZ with the Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by BZ. Pull up a stool. The speech is free, but the drinks are not. Everybody have a great night. I'll see everybody tomorrow. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.